Hey guys, it's Danny. Today we're gonna make an unboxing. Yes, I have decided to renew my collection. I lost quite a few orchids lately and it's just time to replace them. So this haul contains very few orchids that I lost but I'm replacing, but also two orchids that I've always wanted. I think ever since I started my YouTube channel. So let's make this interesting. At the end, in my outro, I will tell you which two orchids I always wanted. But before you watch the outro, let me know in a comment below which ones of these orchids you think. I'm curious to see what your answers are. So without further ado, let's get into this. So first of all, these orchids are coming once again from Poland, from Orchid Garden. I really am happy I managed to find a nursery which delivers to Cyprus in a decent time, because I did do a test with Schwerter as well, and it took about 2 weeks. It's not so bad, but it's considerable. So I'm not sure how much Schwerter will be an option for me, but that's that. Alrighty, let's see what we... Ooh, we have flowers! Those are flowers! Sorry about that. Let's get to the unboxing. Okay, before we get to the unboxing, I have some mold. Okay, I know what happened here. So this time transport was longer. It was actually a week, but I'll tell you why. Apparently, there was a national holiday around here that I didn't know about and nobody worked. And then came the weekend and again, nobody worked. So words of wisdom here, before making a haul, make sure to check that calendar. You never know when free days will come. And in the world of orchid shopping, that's never good news. And here we have the first orchid. She is dehydrated. I need to water this one. This is Oncidium Solanum, and I have to say, ever since I saw Rachel's video, aka Gardening at Duenza, I just wanted to have this in my life as well. It smells quite nice. It's exactly the same smell as the Oncidium Catrinzogue has. I sadly lost my Catrinzogue, but I think having the species actually is quite a lot better. I kind of tend to prefer these flowers a little bit more, I have to say. They're just fuller. So this was the first orchid, the Oncidium Solanum. I need to rebuild my Oncidium collection. Alrighty, this next orchid, this is Encyclia Vitalina. This is actually a replacement orchid. It had the same cost as my initial orchid, and yeah, I know I have another Vitalina. But if you remember, when I purchased that one, the flowers had some really weird striking, and I was always super careful with it because I didn't know if she was virused or not. So that's why I purchased another Vitalina. My old Vitalina never did exceptionally well. I'm not sure why. Might be my care, might also be a potential disease that I don't see right now. Alrighty then, next orchid. This is a new species for me actually. It's a Sarcokylus. Not sure if this is how you pronounce this name, but it sounds good. So Sarcokylus Fitzheart crossed with Hartmanni. Wow, it looks quite good. It kind of resembles a Tolumnia or a Neophoenicia, but it really isn't. It has beautiful white flowers, and I do like this one better than the red one, although many people go for the red. I don't know, I just like the whiter one better. If I do gray with it, I'm definitely gonna buy the red one as well. It's not supposed to be a very hard grower. It's supposed to be quite tolerant. She doesn't like heat, so that might be a problem, but she's very tolerant up to 30 degrees, some would say, some that grow them. So with this in mind, I can totally do that. I can totally keep my greenhouse under 30 degrees, and I can totally keep this orchid hydrated. So why not? We shall give it a go. Okay, here come the replacements. This is the Laelia Diana, and again, I managed to pull it out when I unwrapped it. It was really well packed, but when I ripped the Scotch tape, I ripped the orchid from its medium as well. It's okay. So the Laelia Diana, I had this one. I received a small division from Anna Maria, but yeah, it died. And yeah, it died from Fusarium. And I actually really love this orchid. Ever since I saw a picture of it, I was absolutely in love with it. I saw it for sale. I had to have it. This is not blooming size just yet, although this is a mini orchid, so it doesn't have to be very big in order to bloom. We'll see how much we have to wait, but at least I managed to replace it. And here we have a big girl. I'm in a good mood today. You'll have to excuse me. So this is the Epicatlia Renae Marquez. I had one of its parents in the past, which is the Epidendrum pseudepidendrum, and I managed to lose that one. I never found it ever since for sale, but now I have the Renae Marquez. And I'm noticing something here that I hope I can show you. Inside this little sheath, there's a tiny little something that might turn out to be a tiny little spike. So for now, this orchid will not get repotted. I'm gonna wait a little bit and see if this thing wants to develop. But yeah, a little change of scenery from the very tiny orchids I showed you so far. The orchid herself looks quite okay. Quite a lot of new growth here. This is more or less seedling growth. These are the newest canes, biggest canes. No new growth, but it's not the appropriate season, I have to say. I'm not sure if this growth, which is just maturing now, will create a sheath and a flower, but this one definitely has the potential to flower. Okay, let's go back to small orchids. This is the Maxillaria, currently renamed to Brasilia Shankiana, and if you don't know who this is, it's quite a popular orchid actually. I first saw it in one of Brad's videos. It is a very, very dark flowered orchid, and in a certain light it does look black, and I do have a thing for black flowers. Not that I ever saw one in person, so I might be totally off here. But in pictures, you know, I like them, I have a thing for them. I want to try it out. Maxillarias usually do pretty okay for me if I keep them hydrated, so that's okay. They do like highlight. I have highlight, and this one has a tiny new growth sprouting here, so she looks pretty great. I'm happy with this one. And this is the beautiful Bellara Peggy Ruth Carpenter. And yes, I did have this one and I lost it. I have a major crush on Bellaras, so when I saw it for sale, the moment it entered the website, I placed my order. Now, the way that I lost this orchid is very frustrating. I don't know if you guys have preferences in the way you lose orchids. That sounds horrible. Not what I wanted to say, but some orchids die in a more frustrating way than others. I'll tell you how this one died. So you have those orchids which get crown rot, or the pseudobulbs rot, or you lose the roots, and in a matter of like weeks, everything is dead, and that's that. It's painful but short. You move on. We're okay. But then you have those orchids which struggle for months and months and months, and you go through this roller coaster of emotion, and depending how you wake up that day and you look at it, you might think, oh, she's gonna be okay. Look, she's trying to produce some roots. That tiny new growth right there, it's not dead, is it? She's gonna be just fine. Stop overreacting. And then you have those days when you look at it, and then you look at the one next to it, and you kind of see the differences, and doubt starts to flood in your brain, and you're thinking, what if she's not gonna be okay? What if I'm missing something? What if she's terribly sick and I simply refuse to see the signs? I'm just gonna wait a little bit more and see what happens. And then there's that fateful day when you wake up in a realistic mood, you look at the orchid and you realize those roots didn't really grow in the past month, did they? Also, the tiny new little base leaf on the new growth are yellowing mighty fast. And then there's the back bulb. It's shriveling. No matter how much you water the orchid, it still shrivels, and then it hits you. Welcome to the real world. Hope you enjoy your stay. This orchid will not make it, by the way. Enjoy the rest of your day. So yeah, I hate those losses. It just messes up my brain to go through the roller coaster of emotions. So this orchid is looking quite okay. I do have quite nice roots as far as I can see. I see some growing root tips. I do, however, believe I have snails. I see some munched roots. That's perfectly fine. Yeah. Hopefully, I will not lose this orchid. Oh yeah, I lost my previous Bellara to Fusarium. What else? Okay, next one. This is a Helix Dendrobium. It's called Helix. Now, the Helix is the species, and probably there are multiple cultivars or variations. I'm so happy that I got this one in bloom because I can at least see the coloration of the blooms. Colors within this species can vary quite a lot, and although the flower spike did suffer on transport, it's been in bloom for quite a while. Let me just show you the particularity of this orchid. Take a look at that flower. Okay, not the best one, but do you see those twisty petals? Aren't they just lovely? I saw this one and I needed to have it. I don't know if this orchid is supposed to be fragrant. I don't think so. I don't feel any fragrance at the moment, but judging by how the flower spikes look, they're pretty old and they were pretty damaged in transport. But I do have new growth on this orchid right here, so things are good. Hopefully the canes will grow fast. And as for the orchid, she is quite tall, as you can see. What is this? This is a little bump. I need to research this orchid a little more. I don't know if my camera picks it up. I feel a little bump, but you know, I don't know. Look at the sepals. I'm just noticing them. They're curled as well. Oh, this is so beautiful. I'm actually super excited right now. Totally worth it. The haul was totally worth it. Alrighty, another tiny orchid, a little bit crammed on transport, I have to say. This is the Dendrobium Victoria Reginae. Pretty much the only blue dendrobium you'll ever find, and it's not necessarily blue, it's kind of purple, but it's as blue as it gets, really. I'm not sure if there are any really blue orchids. There might be some species, and I think somebody actually mentioned one. Yeah, there are blue orchids, but not common, as you might expect. But wow, these canes are really thin, and this orchid does have a tendency to bend. It can also be grown upwards, but it's not gonna look all that great. In any case, it's not a showy orchid. I knew that from the beginning. It doesn't look pretty if it's not in bloom, but I really like the blooms, and I hope it's gonna do okay. It's more of a cool grower really, so we'll see how that goes, but I am willing to try it out. It's not a Miltoniopsis, so there is hope. And last but not least, a Dendrobium. This is a mounted orchid. I had no choice. I really wanted it. We'll see what to do. This is the Dendrobium hrishi Pink Shine Torn. Now I do have another hrishi, but I don't know. It's so tiny. I'm not sure if it was a seedling and it was sold as mature, but it never really grew all that much for me. Given I kind of messed up with the medium at first, I stressed it. But I really wanted a more mature orchid, and I did see this one in the picture. It looked mature. The canes are 10 times as big as the canes on my Dendrobium, so I'm sure it is mature. And this is one of the orchids that I really wanted to see in bloom, and I've been waiting for almost 3 years. Yeah, 3 years for the blooms on mine, and I got tired. I wanted a second one. And this is my order. And that's about it. I ordered 10 orchids. And this is not the only haul that I'll do this week. There are 2 others, although one is a present. So now it's a good moment to pause this video and leave me a comment down below with what orchids you think I wanted ever since I started collecting orchids. There are 2, and of course they're not the replacements that I purchased. Okay guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Subscribe to my channel for daily orchid videos, and I'll see you all next time. Bye! Alrighty then, time for the answer. The orchids that I absolutely wanted to have for 3 or 4 years already are the Helix, of course, and this girl, the Renae Marquez. I die for the flowers of this one. You can see a little pattern, right? Twisty petals, weird blooms. So now I'm gonna go and read your comments.